What's up, everybody? Jay Miller here, bringing another Productivity in Tech podcast. This one's going to be a little bit different. I say that every single week, so you should be used to it by now. But I recently had the opportunity to record on a podcast. It's called Tech Talk Podcast. It is very interesting in that it is 3-4 people on a panel talking about topics that they bring to the table. It doesn't have a time limit, so we kind of just go all over the place with it and just talk about different stuff. I really like the idea. I think it's a great show. I've been on it once before. This episode that I was a guest on at the time of releasing this may or may not be out yet. If it is, you're not going to miss much here. But during that conversation, there was obviously, given today's climate, a topic about the coronavirus that came up. And I haven't really shared a lot about my feelings with the coronavirus because I feel more than anything that there is a large amount of noise going on that is making it really hard to be able to adequately follow this. And I did not want to contribute to that noise. So this is going to be my take on it. This is going to be just my thoughts in this area. If you don't want to listen to this, I totally understand. There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. I'm going to do my best to keep this under 10 minutes because I want you to get back to the things that are not causing panic or whatever else that you might be experiencing. So I bring this up because I'm actually going to play a part of the conversation that I had in this interview. And the reason I'm wanting to play it is that it talks very deeply about the idea of athletes and all these sports organizations shutting down. And what I feel is the general problem in the sense of Americans in terms of the coronavirus outbreak. So here's that audio clip now. So I agree and I disagree. I agree in that there should be something, but I think putting and exposing your players to the disease, which I mean, the NBA shut down. They were originally going to play to empty crowds. They shut down because it was confirmed that 2 NBA players on the same team had contracted the virus, and they didn't start showing symptoms until 2 weeks after. So you have to think now, how many NBA players already have it? How many NBA players, staff members, people that are, high-fiving as they're walking out of the tunnel, and like all of these people can be exposed. And I think that's part of the problem that I have with like the overall feeling of too much noise. Is I agree it shouldn't be coronavirus on every single channel. I think that is causing more harm than good. I think that a lot of the shopping panics that people have had to deal with, I can't buy diapers for my daughter right now. There are no stores around me that have diapers, like no brand of diapers. And to me, that's like, what can I do other than like, I can't explain to my daughter who's 18 months old, like, hey, I'm going to need you to pee less. Like, that's not a thing. So for me, seeing it everywhere, yes, is a problem. But at the same time, I have to value the lives of those players. I have to see them as as people first, not entertainers. And that's why I am kind of upset with what the WWE is saying, because if you think about it, that is a full contact entertainment sport. And I will call it a sport because as much as you want to say there's acting and other things involved, you've got people literally grabbing each other and a lot of skin on skin contact, a lot of abrasions. It is a hotbed for any type of disease. And no matter what they're trying to do to prevent that, they're not going to catch all of it. And on top of that, you're creating this mentality similar to what people are doing in their workplace, where they're saying like, you can't take off. You don't have sick time. It's not going to be covered. People that are living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of how they got there, they don't have a choice but to work sick. And if you're telling people that want to be professional wrestlers, you're sick, get through it. That's how I got sick. I got sick because we were deployed. I was in training and they said, if you don't do this, you're going to be held back. You're not going to finish in time. You're not going to get to go, do all the stuff that your friends are doing. And because of that, I went septic. I had to suffer from organ failure. So for me, I don't play with my health. I don't play with other people's health. If someone says they're having a hard time, I am immediately like, stop what you're doing. Nothing that you're doing is going to cause the city to burn down. Take care of yourself. And the idea of the show must go on to me is a bunch of crap, because it's going to go on until there's no one there for it to go on to. And I hate to see that. I would hate to live in a country that promotes that kind of mentality. And that's where I feel like we are headed now. That's why we're in this situation, is because everyone brushed it off. People in Italy brushed it off, and now look at Italy. I don't want to repeat that. I don't want to repeat that for people around me. I don't want to repeat that for other people. I don't think coronavirus is going to be the end of the world. I don't. But at the same time, I think the people that are panicking and causing problems are just as bad as the people who are being nonchalant about this. Okay, so you just heard my thoughts as recorded previously on this coronavirus outbreak and whether or not the organizations did the right thing or the wrong thing. And I am 100% unapologetic people first. When it comes to my business, I am people first. I have learned there will always be opportunities to make more money. There will always be opportunities to improve your bottom line, quote unquote. There will not always be an opportunity to make an impact in someone's life. There will not always be an opportunity to reach out and be able to help someone. You see, that's the thing that people forget when they are talking about athletes. That is the thing that people tend to forget when they're talking about podcasters, community managers, developers, marketers, all of these things. At the end of the day, you are dealing with people. And this is something that I got in the newsletter from Meet Edgar, which is a social media marketing tool that allows you to create social media funnels and all this other stuff that's not important. They talked about it. It's not business to business marketing. It's not business to consumer to marketing anymore. It's human to human marketing. I have been very relieved to see that for the most part, many of these businesses are doing the right thing in terms of their employees, at least the people that have been public about it online. I don't know what led to those decisions. I don't really care. To me, what matters most are those people. I mentioned before in that little snippet that I am immunocompromised. I don't talk about it very much because it's not a big part of my life. I get sick like everyone else. I tend to usually be fine. In fact, it's only when I get really sick that it becomes a problem. Imagine if you have a cold for 1 day or for 2 days, I have a cold for 3 days. If you go down with pneumonia, you're in the hospital for a while. I'm in the hospital for a month. It is just something that I'm used to. I don't let it define who I am. The one thing I will not do, though, is allow my fears and concerns of getting sick cause me to ignore the fact that there are people out there right now who are choosing to go to work because they have no choice. And I'll say that again. They are choosing to go to work because they have no other choice. Imagine being told if you don't go to work, you will lose your job. Imagine being told, well, we can't pay you if you don't show up for work. There are already going to be so many people who are displaced because of this. And meanwhile, while we're forgetting about those people, we're concerned more about whether or not an athlete who has money guaranteed to them, whether they play or not, maybe not as all the money guaranteed to them, whether they play or not, they're getting paid. What is more important is not the fact that they are a player, but the fact that they are a human being, just like that same person that is living paycheck to paycheck that has to make that decision on whether or not they're going to risk getting sick so that their kids can eat. I am so tired. I am tired of how humanity is treating one another. It is in a world where we should be the most connected, we should be the most united as a generation of people. We have the ability to connect with one another, to show empathy on a massive scale for one another. And we choose instead to use these tools to spread misinformation, to sow seeds of hatred, and to do all of the things that lead people to ultimately giving up. And that is something that I am terrified of. I don't want to give up. I've been doing this for almost 6 years now. I keep saying 6 or 7 or 5. Like, my wife and I actually did the math. It should be 6 years now. And for the last 6 years, I have met so many wonderful people. I have consumed so much of their information. I have heard so many amazing stories. But at the end of the day, I would rather them stop doing what they're doing and take care of themselves than to entertain me like they're some type of circus animal. I don't like how the world has become. I don't. I hate it. I really do. I just hope that people can start to see passion instead of continuing to see divisiveness. This may have turned out to be all, why can't we just get along or whatever, but why can't we? I don't know. That's more important than, my possible job hunts. That's more important than any future business that I could be, trying to gain right now. I'm not going to market to you. I'm not going to sell to you. I'm just going to ask you, how are you handling all of this stuff? How are you doing? Let me know. Email me, jay@productivityandtech.com. I would say tweet at me, but honestly, I don't want to hear anything on Twitter. I'm just so done. I care about each and every person that listens to this. Even if I don't know your name, even if I don't know who you are or anything about you, just know I care about you. And if you want me to know more about you, I'm more than happy to dig in and learn. But at the same time, we as a people have to stop treating people above or below us. We're all human. We all bleed the same. We all put our pants on the same. Unless we don't wear pants, then we put on whatever we put on the same. At the end of the day, death comes for us all. It does. So let's make it so that each of us can enjoy the life that we have, the life that's been laid out for us. Sure, some people will have and some people won't have, but there's no reason to think that any of us owe one another anything, because we don't. I know it's a little dark. I promise I'll be putting out another episode eventually in the near future, probably in the next week or so. I was going to do these monthly, but after having this conversation, I really wanted to share some thoughts. It's going to do it. I've been Jay Miller. I hope this has helped somebody. And have a good one.